I'm Bridget.
And I'm Maddie. Welcome to Baddy Breakdowns, where we hang out, have fun, and play games all the way to the end. Asterisks where applicable. Today we're going to talk about Coral Island. We'll give you the breakdown from its creation to its critical reception, and then we'll take you on a deep dive into the
Is that the kind of episode this is going to be?
into the game as we share our own experiences and opinions while playing it. We'll close with if we recommend it, who we'd recommend it to, and last but not least, our personal rating. With that, let's move to a small town and fix our dead relative's farm.
You are not allowed to make these anymore.
I do great. I don't know what you're talking about.
You could have said, let's dive in.
Yeah, but that's boring.
Okay, that's fine. You're right. Yours was definitely not boring.
Okay, game description. Coral Island is a vibrant and laid-back reimagining, have an issue with that word, of farm sim games. Be who you want and experience enchanting island living at your own pace. Live off the land, nurture animals, build relationships with a diverse cast of townsfolk, and make the world around you a more vital and harmonious place. It is a farming sim, very similar to Stardew Valley, Harvest Moon, etc. Very cozy.
Yeah.
Oh, how it's made. And who made it.
Great. Thanks, Annie. I'll jump into how it's made and who made it. So the research that I did on this one, I didn't find too much. They did have a dev blog, but the dev blog was a lot more about like progress than it was about like actual specifics. I did find some interesting things.
Should we mention that it's in early access?
Yes. So I've got like a whole little section on that.
Cool.
Yeah. The dev blog that I found, great. I also found an interview with one of the co-founders of the studio. So all the stuff that I'm kind of going through today are from those things, and we can link those in the description as per usual. First off, Coral Island is being made by Stairway Games, in active development. It is an Indonesian-based indie game dev studio.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't actually realize that it was an indie studio that was making it because it seemed like it was quite an expansive game. Like there was a lot of different features and things in it.
We'll talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I was very surprised to see that it was an indie game dev studio. It still had like a pretty good number of people. I don't remember the exact number, but it was more than just like 5, like it was quite a few. And I did, like, the interview that I found was actually on the Unreal Engine website because the game is made in Unreal Engine, and the Epic Foundry actually gave money to funding Coral Island a few years ago. So they have a little bit of backing there, too. The other fun story that I have around kind of their backing and how Coral Island exists, I found Coral Island back when the original Kickstarter like popped in. I think it was like February 2021.
Okay.
I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, like this looks so much like a new version of this farming sim. I wanted more. I've played so much Stardew Valley. And at the time, I think it was before we had that giant like wave of a ton of farming sims. And so at the time I was like, oh my gosh, yes. And in the group chat at work, so I worked on Game Pass. Now I just work on Xbox. In the group chat at work, I drop in the chat and I say, this looks so cute. I want it for Game Pass. And then I just left the link there. And all I'm saying is that now it's on Game Pass.
Influencer.
So I'm taking at least like 22% credit here for the fact that it exists and is on Game Pass.
Yeah.
I know that it's probably absolutely no credit at all, but still taking total credit for that for sure in a joking way. It's fine. So that's kind of fun. But that Kickstarter actually made them like $1.6 million.
Whoa, that's good.
Yeah, like it did really, really well. And because of that, they've looked like they've expanded a lot of like the features and the things they wanted to do with it, which makes sense. Like $1.6 million. Holy shit. Like it's a lot.
Good for them.
Yeah. So some of the other things that I learned about it was obviously it was based on Harvest Moon. The co-founders, Jeremy Bramble and Soma Wisnupatura, I hope I'm saying that right. They both loved The Witcher and they both love Harvest Moon, and they wanted to make a Witcher game. And then when they came together, they were like, well, we also love Harvest Moon. And they got like this little studio team together And they pretty much said, like, what do you guys want to do? And the team was really excited about a Harvest Moon-esque type of game instead of like a Witcher-esque type of game. So that's kind of why they pivoted in that direction, which I think is kind of interesting.
That is interesting.
They also
what a pair of things to go between. Like,
right?
Either we're gonna make The Witcher or we're gonna make Harvest Moon.
It would have been kind of fun if they would have figured out how to do like a combo of both.
Yeah,
like that. I think that would have been pretty cool. So the art direction that they mentioned, they were inspired heavily by Disney, which I definitely can see in the animation.
Yeah.
They had like 3 core tenets of what they wanted their game to look and feel like, and that was playful, pleasant, and rich in like detail and stuff.
Cute.
And I liked those as little pillars there. So like we mentioned a little bit earlier, it is still actively in development.
Yep.
So it's an early access. I looked up a little bit. They have a full roadmap on their website that goes into all the early access content that they have.
Nice.
It looks like it's very much so in active development, which makes me feel a little bit better about it. So just for like clarity for us, just so you know, so listeners know, if you haven't played it yet and you run and go play it after this, they are currently in this phase that they've called like the spring update release. So pretty much all of the special spring content is where they're currently at. So it has characters with spring specific outfits. They have,
which I think is a cute touch.
Yeah. Spring festivals, all that kind of fun stuff. But they have a lot of other releases left that are like the summer, fall, and winter specific stuff. So those festivals, those outfits, that dialogue, all that, those fun things. They also have a couple other fun ones that I saw. Like, we don't have any of the end game like story content yet, so that still needs to be filled in.
Okay.
NPC marriage and kids content isn't filled in yet, but they really want that.
Okay.
And then merfolk.
Oh,
that's
like when you're
right.
diving.
Yes.
Cool.
Like mer people.
Can you date the mer people?
If you can't date the mer people, then they've lost such an opportunity.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be able to date the mer people.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's a lot of really fun updates
like,
that
live
are
out
coming.
your Little Mermaid dream in reverse.
Right?
Little Mermaid 2, right?
When I'm a little, I love that you referenced the Little Mermaid 2.
Isn't that the one where her daughter goes back to the
Melody?
sea? Yeah, it's like the opposite.
But yes, you can go pretend to be Melody in the Little Mermaid 2 with your merfolk. They did look pretty cute.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Well,
but none
I
of that
noticed
exists
like
yet.
the title screen has like a mer person.
Yes.
So
yeah, so that's all planned, all in roadmap, and all of that is expected to come out before they do their official like 1.0 real release.
Okay.
The last thing that I have just for fun was early on in their dev blog, they had a couple of features that I didn't see that existed, but they were working in the original version like that they had. And so I'm wondering if they cut it or if it's coming back, or I don't know.
Okay.
And I thought they were fun. So if one of their devs ever stumbles upon this and listens to it, just know that I want these back. So
we'll
like
send
bring
it to them.
I did join their Discord too.
Ooh, there we go.
I did not get an interview, unlike how cool you were last week. But first, apparently, earlier you could choose the style of house that you wanted to live in. So it wasn't just like the default house. I know. I think that would have been really nice. Maybe that's just going to be like a full later feature. They didn't fully fledge it out. So I am fingers crossed on that one because I think that's really nice. And then the next one was so stupid and I love it so much. But the mailbox had a carrier pigeon on it. And you could upgrade and find different like birds.
That's amazing.
To go and collect the mail for you. And I love that.
That's like number one.
I
That's like
know.
number one thing on the list.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
Like, I love the idea of like a little carrier pigeon on your mailbox that you can actually like go find different breeds
that's really
and stuff.
cute.
It's so cute.
Super cute.
I think they have a lot of things coming. They have a lot of fun ideas, I think, but a lot of it isn't realized totally just yet in the version of the game that we have played right now and that you'd played if you downloaded it today. And that's all I got.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. So, critical reception, it's very positive on Steam right now. Lots of people in the comments saying like, oh, it's so cozy, making comparisons to Stardew Valley a lot.
Yeah.
Animal Crossing, talking about how they're excited for the full game. And then one of the like recommended reviews, I'm not going to read the whole thing. I just thought the beginning of it was hilarious. Are you ready?
Yeah. Hi, ready. I'm Dad.
A throwback. I consider myself a connoisseur of the farming simulation genre, to the point where I amaze myself by how snobbish I can be sometimes.
I love that for them.
But I never let my overly critical point of view spoil the fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of it, you can just imagine. I just thought, like...
That's how I feel on the inside, Maddie.
What person was like, I'm gonna write this sentence down?
I feel like I would never write
and their
that
review
sentence.
was huge.
I love that for them, though. I feel like I am also a farm connoisseur.
A connoisseur?
Connoisseur? I feel like I am, and I don't think I'd ever write that in a review, but I love that for them. That is ridiculous. To the point where
I amaze myself by how snobbish I can be. Okay, so I don't know how much of the negatives I want to talk about up front, because I'm sure we'll talk about it.
Okay.
A lot of it was just, bugs, which is natural
Right.
with like early access stuff. Yeah. Again, on the flip side of people positively comparing it to Stardew Valley, some negative takes of that.
Right.
The other main bug that I wanted to talk about is they made an update where computers with integrated graphics cards couldn't play the game anymore.
Oh.
And I think that's like a lot of the lower
That's a
end,
lot,
like
yeah.
laptops.
Yeah.
Or maybe not even low end laptops. I think it's just like a lot of laptops.
I think it's a lot of laptops. It's the very large majority of laptops. Yeah.
And then lastly, there were a few people who were complaining about how in one of the updates they nerfed the prices of like the items. Like, so selling things was a lot less, like you were getting a lot less money from it.
I have a whole section on like funds and pricing, all that kind of fun stuff. So that is really interesting that they nerfed it.
They nerfed it. One person said it seems the devs are obsessed with making sure you make money very slowly.
It's yeah, okay. Well, no,
we'll get to it later.
We'll get to it later. I echo that
Okay,
sentiment.
so last one, because it's a compliment sandwich. I have never been so stressed out in choosing who to romance in a farming sim in my life. Everybody be looking fine AF.
Yes, okay.
Hard
okay.
agree. Hard agree. Okay, let's
dive in. I'm sorry. I mean, let's go take care of a farm from
No. Let's move to a small town.
Oh, okay.
We gotta set the table, right? Let's move to a small town. Our relatives have passed away.
Of course.
And we're moving to the small town to fix up our dead relatives' farm.
Right, you're right. We're not diving in.
Diving in.
For you guys who can't see, she's making the most beautiful little dive animation motion. It's great.
Diving in.
10 out of 10.
First impressions. I think it's you're up first.
Oh, okay. Oh. So I cheated a little bit, and that technically I have streamed this game before.
Like watched it be played?
I was on the Xbox stream.
That's right.
Yes,
you told
but
me about
I
that.
wasn't the actual person with the computer. I was just heckling the person playing.
Yes, that's right.
And so theoretically, I already kind of had opinions going into it because I had seen the very, very early version back in October.
Even earlier.
Yeah, even earlier, before like the spring update even. And so my first I tried to bring that back in.
Yeah.
As well as my new little first impression now that I've played it. So I had 3 things, very distinct. 1, look at all these hotties.
Yeah.
I have a very large bone to pick with Harvest Moon. Not as much as Stardew Valley. It was okay, but whatever. But with every single Story of Seasons and Harvest Moon game, you have, maybe it's different with some of the newer ones I haven't played, but you were, as the girl, only allowed to date the dudes. And when you did, they were so ugly. Like 90% of the time, they were ugly or they looked like children. Mm-hmm. And I was so upset because I really liked that part of it. And so when I jumped in this game, I was like, everyone's hot.
Everyone's hot. It's awesome. And you can date everyone.
Yeah. Except for 1, which I'm really upset about.
Ooh, I'm so excited to hear.
2, oh my God, there's garbage everywhere. And
trash everywhere.
I have a lot of thoughts on that just in general. And then like the third one, which we touched on already, was like, this feels familiar. Like it immediately right away was like, okay, this is a farming sim, like blanket, cut, dry, done. And I'm sure we'll dig into a little bit more, but right away I was like, okay, I know what I'm doing because it's what I've done.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about yours?
So my first impressions, I just wrote very cute, very Stardew.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of was like, made a little comment when they said it's a reimagining of the farming sim.
Yeah.
I would not call it a reimagining. It is really cute. And like,
Yeah.
I love that you can date, but it's the formula.
Yeah.
It's a genre now. That's also what I wrote. Like, I think this is just a genre because it's not just Stardew Valley that does that, but it's all of the games like this, right?
I actually found a quote from Concerned Ape about people being mad about him ripping off like the Harvest Moon games back when he first made it. And he was pretty much like, hey, these clone games make it so people can continue enhancing it and evolving the genre and making it more like engaging and popular and stuff. So he was, you know, that was his comeback for it. But I entirely agree with you. This does not really feel like a reimagining to me. It's just farming sim.
Yeah. I did think it was really cute jumping in. Same thing, like everyone was hot. And then the other thing that I noted that was just different from you is I thought that it was really ambitious, actually.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, there's a lot here that they're doing. And it's quite ambitious. And I'm interested to see if they're able to pull it off. Because I was just surprised, like, how big the world was.
The world was big. There's so many characters.
There's a ton of characters. It's like Stardew Valley times 10.
Yes. I'm glad you wrote down the ambitious one because you're right when you say it. I'm like, oh, yeah, but I didn't think about that at the time.
Yeah.
Why don't we start with maybe like the overarching like storyline since that's really quick and short? Yeah. And you can correct me on this because I will admit that I maybe accidentally spammed through a couple cutscenes accidentally.
Yeah.
And there weren't many when it came to the story for this one just yet. TLDR, there was an oil spill in the town over. And your town is now covered in oil everywhere and filth everywhere. There's like garbage in your farm, in the town, on the beach.
And your trees be stinky.
Yeah, and your trees be stinky.
Yeah, they're like they literally are giving off like stink, like
it's like green
animations.
Smoke.
Yeah.
It
I
is
was like, are the trees just smelly? Like, what is this?
Stank trees.
Yeah.
Very much so. And so, like, the whole point of this is the town over, like, they have this oil spill. You have now ruined your tourist, like, attraction. Nobody wants to come visit anymore. You had to do things like sell stuff from the museum to make money to keep the town afloat. And now this big, bad corporation, Pufferfish Drilling, has said, hey, we're going to come and just make this an oil town. And then you don't have to worry about visitors anymore. Yeah.
Right, because like money will be there and blah, blah, blah.
And of course, the owner of this oil corporation is Karen, which I thought was hilarious.
Classic. Yeah.
Hilarious.
I wrote that. Ha, Karen.
Yeah. I was like, evil villain is Karen LMAO. But that's like really the gist of it. Is there more? I feel like that's pretty much it.
No, and then you're just trying to fix up the island.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's
like you're
increase
there
the town rank.
Yeah. It's got the town rank thing, and then also you meet a goddess, and that's kind of the equivalent of the Junimos, where you're making offerings to fix up the community center.
Yeah.
You make offerings to the goddess so that the stinky trees don't stink anymore.
I just looked at my notes, and have you watched Bob's Burgers, Maddie?
I'm obsessed with Bob's Burgers.
Okay, great. You know that my gamer tag is based on Bob's Burgers, right? Have we talked about this? Well, we can
Girl
talk about
number
it later.
3?
Yeah, it's from the scene with Gene, and he creates a girl group, and he gives them names, and he switches the first 2 girls' names, and then he gets to the 3rd girl, and he's like, we'll call you girl number 3. But actually, the reason that I brought it up is because...
This is my Tina Halloween costume.
Ah, that's so good!
Isn't it good?
That's so good.
Anyways, yes.
Yes, so there was an episode on Bob's Burgers where they had, like... They were trying to do a food truck.
Yeah.
And do you remember the singer lady and her song? And she was like, oil spill.
Yes! Oh my god!
Literally this entire game.
Oh, it's so good. Wow, that just like unlocked in my brain.
The whole time. I'm just over there, and I'm sure Chris wanted to kill me because I'm just sitting on the couch, and every once in a while, oil spill. Because that's all this town was. It was just oil everywhere.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes.
Yep. Oh, that's so great. That's so good.
I guess one other thing that I'll say about the world, even though it is covered in garbage and oil, is they had a lot of really like cute little things in there, like a doggy daycare was in there, which is super adorable.
But empty.
But empty, yeah.
I'm hoping that so what I think that's going to turn into is a animal shelter where you can adopt a pet.
Oh, that would be cute.
That's my guess as to what they're going to turn that into.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, that was one thing that I kind of struggled with this game is I couldn't feel like I couldn't figure out, is this bad or not done? And I asked that question so many times, and I think one of them was around kind of the emptiness or the lack of interactivity with a lot of the world. So like Maddie said the world was big. It is. Like there's quite a bit of stuff in there, but you couldn't really interact with a lot of it. It was just kind of like pretty and there, and in some cases
there's a
kind of big and
basketball
empty.
court, but you can't shoot the basketball.
Yeah.
But you know that you're going to be able to because you can interact with the basketball but you can't like do anything.
Yeah. And like there's a taco truck and you can talk to the girls selling tacos, but you can't
buy
a taco.
Why can't you buy a taco?
So that was one of my biggest qualms with like the world that they had kind of created was I wanted to do stuff with it. And like old Harvest Moon games, if you remember, they hid diaries in like bedrooms so that you could sneak in and see what people liked about you. I loved it. It's my favorite feature. If I ever make a game, I don't even care if it's out of like context.
You're hiding
putting diaries in them.
Sci-fi dystopian
diary room.
Yeah.
But I love that. And this just didn't really have a lot of interactivity so far.
Now you know what the game is, right?
Yeah.
You're building a farm, you're making money, you're cleaning up the whole city, you're making offerings to the goddess, the other component that I think isn't in other Sims that I've played so far is there is a diving component.
Yeah.
Where you do a very similar thing. You dive underwater, and underwater you're also cleaning up trash and fixing the oil spills with these like weird little magical things.
Magical mermaid people technology.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where you like find it and then it goes like wub 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 and it fixes the.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Yeah.
It's pretty much mining, but underwater with trash.
Yeah.
I will say that some of the mechanics in this, if we're thinking about them, like the actual gameplay a little bit, when you compare it to something like Stardew Valley, which is so popular, in my opinion, they kind of mush the mechanics of Stardew Valley together a little bit with Animal Crossing.
Yes, they do. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you had like the bud catching, which is new. You had like the museum, which expands and is super pretty, like
very Animal Crossing. Like it is Animal Crossing. Like the museum part, like is Animal Crossing for sure.
And I can't say that I'm upset about the mash of both of them together. Yeah. But it very much so is that.
Yeah. Do we want to get into
the characters?
Well, I was going to say, do we want to just like finish talking about the gameplay mechanics real quick and then we can talk about the characters?
Yes, I have many things.
Okay. Yeah, I do too.
You start.
So, gameplay mechanic wise, the farming was fine. Mm-hmm. My one complaint about the farming is that the upgrades take forever. Because, like, the resources for the upgrades are so rare.
Yeah.
Like, silver kelp, I never ran into.
It takes forever. You have to finish the first 20 sites that you clear diving before you can even find it. It takes forever.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. And that's how you can do a sprinkler.
Yes.
And it's not even the like, big, awesome sprinkler. It's like
baby sprinkler.
Baby sprinkler.
Yeah.
And you need this resource that's super rare. And similarly, like, the mining area doesn't have a ton of ore drops.
No,
like,
it doesn't.
It's so I thought that like my main complaint about like the farming tools upgrade system was just the resource to effort ratio felt really off to me.
I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. And hopefully there'll be some balance thinking as they figure some stuff out. But that was one of the biggest complaints I had around, like, I didn't get sprinklers until I think the fall. And even then I had like 2 because it took me forever to find the stuff that I needed for it. And I have so little, like, so I made it into winter. I'm almost finished with winter of year 1 because the devs had mentioned that that's pretty much the end of content, like just kind of repeats after that.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of story content yet. So that's how far I went. But the actual progress that I made in a year, I feel like was less than what I wanted to and a lot more grindy than what I wanted it to be.
Yes.
Like when you brought up the mines, you would literally land on a floor and so every floor, there's like one patch of ore, and that ore can be like literally one rock of ore.
Yeah.
Or like I think I've seen is maybe like 7, and that was very, very rare.
Yeah.
Usually it's more like 3.
Yeah.
And so every single floor you're getting, unless you've gotten a lot of the bonuses, like 1 to like 6 pieces of ore per floor, and everything takes at least like 5 ore to make 1 bar.
Yeah.
And so it's like many, many, many levels of mining.
I think you need 10 bars to upgrade or something like that. I think I just did it because I just finally upgraded.
I think it is 10.
It's
yeah.
10.
And so it is a lot of mining. The only thing that I've upgraded tool-wise in my first year is my pickaxe.
That's what I'm doing first, too.
Axe is the one that I did next. And those are the only 2 I've been able to do because I just don't have enough.
Yep.
And then I guess alongside that, the money.
Yeah. Let's talk about it.
You want to go?
No, go for it.
I just was poor.
Yeah.
The whole freaking time.
Yeah.
I was so poor. I wanted to make my...
I wanted outfits, and the outfits are so
expensive. And, okay, I bought one outfit, and it was this giant...
Wait. Sorry. I was just cutting you off for no reason. I was too excited to see if we were going to buy the same outfit.
Probably not, because I bought the giant panda bear, because I thought it was fucking funny.
Amazing.
So I'm running around doing all these heart scenes as this panda bear. It was so fun. And the ears move when I run. The outfits are great. It was like $10,000. It's $10,000 for that panda bear.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm saving up for my $5,000 puffy sleeve. You know the white shirt with the
that
puffies?
One was cute.
It was so cute.
It was the best shirt.
It was the best shirt.
Best shirt. Yeah.
And ripped jeans and sneakers, and it's like $5,000.
Yeah.
And just for everyone on the call, when
on
you
the
sell
call? Is this a work meeting to you, Maddie?
Maybe. For everyone listening, when you sell a crop, you get like 100 things, like $100
max. It's
max.
Not even a lot.
And you're selling your crops, and the seeds are expensive too.
Yeah.
So imagine that you buy a turnip seed for $15. You sell your turnip, I think, for like $20.
It's not a lot. It is very
It's
little.
really not that much. So you're netting like $5, and
in
it's
like 7 days or whatever it is. Yeah.
And it's just not that much, and everything is so expensive in this game. And I feel like that needs, I think, to the point of the person who left that review that we kind of talked about earlier, it feels really unbalanced, from the effort you put in.
Yeah, totally agree. I was surprised because so when I play games like Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon, once I make it to the first harvest, I feel pretty set, where it's still I have to save in order to get the big stuff, but I can make little purchases pretty often. And that, to me, feels like little incremental progress that feels good. And in this one, literally, in December was the first time, not December, in winter was the first time that I started actually decorating my house because it was so poor. And at some point I was running around with $16,000, so that's the max I've been able to get at once. And you buy a couple pieces of furniture, a stupid panda outfit, and you got no cash anymore. And it's kind of sad because I've got this house now that I'm I want to fill it with all these cute things that they have. And I swear to God, it's going to take me 10 in-game years to be able to decorate one
room. And maybe that's realistic to real life.
Maybe, but I don't need real life in my video games.
No, I don't either. To also add some additional color to it, the seasons are long. They're genuinely long. They're 30 full days.
28, I think.
Yes, sorry. 28 full days. And they're long. I think I've been playing, when I looked last, it was 15 hours and I played for 2 hours today. So probably 17 hours, and I'm not even to the end of summer yet.
I think that maps because I'm in around 30 hours and I'm at the end of winter. So I think that maps.
Yeah, it's just, it's long. It's not a bad thing, but it's just long. And so you would expect to have maybe more of a payoff there. And maybe it's just as a recommendation for the devs, if they listen to this, Like, maybe clothes don't need to be so expensive because that's a really fun part of being able to customize your character.
Yeah.
Does it need to be like almost $6,000 to buy an outfit with shoes?
Yeah.
Like, no.
And I like, part of the reason that I really like customizing characters and doing stuff like that is it's the little stuff on the side that's like delightful.
Yes.
It's not core like gameplay advancement mechanic, and it doesn't break anything if I decide to own 30 pairs of shoes, right? I think the biggest thing, and maybe that's what they were trying to balance, is they didn't want you to run out of content too quickly.
Yeah.
But I think there's a good balance between I've put in 30 hours here and all I own is a panda outfit. Yeah.
Yep. A little bit rough.
Mm-hmm. I will say that their items are super cute, and that's why I want to buy them. I want to
Yes.
buy them all. And
They are really cute. They're really cute. That's,
Yeah. They even, did you see, they had the original hat for Harvest Moon's Friends of Mineral Town. So like,
well, I never played Harvest Moon, so I cannot relate.
Well, when we get to
we will play it.
We will play it when the remake for Another Wonderful Life comes out. But they had Friends of Mineral Town. The character is very like, I don't know, it's very obvious. He's got this blue hat with like this little bang that pokes out of the front of the rim of the hat. It's very obvious.
Yeah.
And they had it as like the OG hat is what they called it.
Oh, cute.
It was really
cute.
So like I loved all the stuff that they had in it. I just wanted to buy all of it and I couldn't buy like any of it.
Yeah. Let's talk about fishing and catching bugs. And then I think that's the wrap of mechanics.
I had one little weird thing on ranching, but we could do that after.
Oh, I haven't even gotten there because
it takes
I have no money.
Yeah, it does take, and you need like a lot of resources.
I have no money.
That's how you feel the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say my one line on ranching, which is just animals have cute animations. So vibe, I really like that. Negative, which I'm hoping they fix, is all of the animals have like a direct path to the closest thing of grass, and so they stand on top of each other constantly. And I can't pet one and milk one and trim the other because they're on top of each other.
Oh,
yeah, and so
like there's no concept in the game of like they need to have like a boxed amount of space.
No, they're just literally, I can't see my sheep inside my cow sometimes, and that's like super frustrating. I'm hoping that's just like a early access bug though. Yeah.
I bet that is. Yeah. So fishing is interesting, but I didn't have a ton of issues with it. So the little fishing mini game is you press and hold to reel the fish in, and then it like wiggles. It's like blah 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 blah, floppy floppy.
That's incredibly accurate. In case you guys are curious.
And you have to not press and hold because if you press and hold too much, it snaps the line. I did think it was a little tedious at times, but the fishing games in these games are always tedious.
This one was way less hard than the Stardew Valley
fishing. I feel like
fishing.
Animal Crossing has probably been my favorite implementation of fishing in a game.
It's just simple. Just do it.
Just like have it be like a thing that you have to click, you know?
I'm not grinding for fish because I think the minigame is fun. Maybe there are other people out there. If you are, let us know if that's what you love about these games.
The thing is, I genuinely love fishing in games. Like I
thought you were just going to say love fishing. I was like, whoa.
No, and I also like fishing because I grew up fishing with my grandpa in Florida.
That's so cute.
So I have like a connection with fishing. And one of my favorite parts of Animal Crossing is catching all the fish in all of the different seasons and all of the different things and filling the museum with like aquatic creatures.
Yeah.
And so I want fishing to feel better. I always want fishing to like be better because I like it so much in games. And so it's just like a little sad when it's not what I want it to be. But I get that they're trying to make it a bit challenging. I just wish it maybe wasn't quite so tedious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You won't find me ever really praising fishing and fishing games and this stuff. Like, I love a good grind, don't get me wrong, but I'm not playing it because I want to be stressed about, I've been fishing for 5 in real life hours and I finally got like this super hard fish that was really rare and then I snapped my line. Like, that's not why I'm playing a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, catching bugs. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, the line that I have is the literal worst.
Yes.
Done.
Fuck catching bugs.
Literally a travesty.
Yeah. It's so bad.
So bad.
They're gonna fix it.
They'll
gotta
have to fix it. So I did kind of see some posts.
Do you
want to
describe it?
Okay, yeah. So you're bug hatching, you got
Mhm.
your little net, and when you have the net open, you can do like a slow crouch walk thing, and it shows this little triangle of green space of where like a bug is in range of your net. And then as you would imagine, the closer you get to the bug, they get like alerted that you're there, and you have kind of this little bug timer before they run off. With that being said, it really doesn't matter if you sneak. It doesn't really matter what you do. Some of these bugs, I swear to God, have supersonic hearing and sensing, and you could be behind it going as slow as a goddamn turtle, and it's like millisecond, and it's sprinting away. Not to mention the fact that the ones that fly in the air don't line up with the triangle.
Yeah.
And so you have to be awkwardly like a degree a little bit to the right and like angle it as if you were in the air. I don't know. It's weird.
It is weird.
It's weird. And
they gotta fix it.
There's literally
it's just
no
not.
way
It's like there's some that just aren't catchable.
Impossible. Absolutely impossible. One of the methods that I had tried was if they were coming in my direction and I sprinted in their direction, then hopefully it would take some time for them to turn around and go the other way. And so that's what I'm currently trying. But I also saw that they have little scent traps, and that in their next release, they're talking about bug traps. So it makes me think that the ones that are really hard, they're not even planning on having you catch with the net. They're planning on using bug traps.
Oh, interesting choice.
Which would be way better because it's real frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a choice.
Yeah.
It's a choice.
It's a choice.
Okay. So there's all the main mechanics. The fighting is the last one in the mines, which I just always think that that's maybe like a little tedious to me. Like,
yeah. Stardew Valley was the one who started that. Harvest Moon didn't have fighting.
Yeah. I think Stardew Valley does it okay. It's not my favorite part of the game.
I know that some people really like it.
But it's better because they have like, you can, upgrade your swords, and they have, ranged weapons too that you can use. But this one was just kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just there.
It was just there. The animation was a little rough because you like go way towards the enemy and get stuck in their hitbox like no matter what you do, which is a little rough. And I know like a tough one to sort out a little bit, like the animation mechanics on that stuff. Just it's hard to make smooth. But I hope that they fix that. I think I saw in their roadmap something about combat updates. So maybe they're planning on doing more there, which I would hope for, because right now it's just pretty, I would say, easy and a little boring. Like I didn't need it to be there in the way that it existed right now, but if they amp it up a little, we'll see. Yeah
I agree.
But that kind of lends itself to that ambition we talked about earlier.
It's super ambitious. I know that we're not saying a lot of ambitious things, but everything that we're saying, like, there's just a lot of it.
There's a lot of it. Like, a total, like, there's a lot of areas blocked off on the map, so they're planning a lot more areas.
And the map is already, like, the size of, like, the Stardew Valley map, like, complete.
Yeah.
Without unlocking areas. Like, it's pretty big, and there's a lot of people, and there's a lot of offerings to the goddess.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of the game.
There's a lot of content, which is great. I am not at all complaining about a lot of content.
Okay, should we talk about the characters now?
Yes.
The hotties.
The hotties and the naughties.
The hotties.
Do
you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay,
so I can judge you without you judging me
my
first.
opening thing, and like when I got super excited, and I didn't mention this in first impressions because I wanted to wait.
Oh.
So the first person I actually met it was nighttime because I was like really like fixing up my farm. That's always the first thing I do when I like do one of these games is I like clean up my farm a little bit, and there's like trash everywhere. And I was like, I can't have trash like in my line of sight because it's just going to stress me out.
Yeah.
And so most of my first day was spent kind of clearing up my farm, and I hadn't really met anyone or bought any seeds or done any of that. And it was nighttime when I started looking at the village. And so I just walked out, and I find this hottie at the observatory. Waku?
Oh, Waku.
Yeah.
You're a Waku
And I
girl.
was like, hello. And I wrote, I'm coming back for you later. I'm coming back for you, baby. So anyways, that was like my first
I love that for you.
meet. And then I was just like, wow, okay.
my first meet. I was like, what do you mean?
I don't know, like my first meet cute
meet cute.
With Waku at the observatory. So my next favorite person I ran into was Yuri.
Yuri was badass.
Hot, tattooed doctor.
I was like, they made the doctor a woman.
And she's a doctor?
Yeah.
Damn.
Beautiful hair. I'm saying that as a joke because we have the same hair color.
Yes. Beautiful hair. And then lastly, actually, you're going to maybe read into this too much.
Ooh.
My third was Leah.
Why did that?
Because she has pink hair, so now it's like Yuri is one of my favorites, and she has the hair color you have, and then Leah has pink hair, which is the hair color you used to have, but don't be conceited.
Too late.
Okay, so the reason why Leah was like in my top when I first met her, she's like the snobby, like Haley character from Stardew Valley, and I like a challenge.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I like a challenge. So those are my top 3, and I have them ranked. Like maybe after I meet everyone, I have them ranked, but those were like my top 3.
Leah, I thought, had really fun dialogue too because she was so sassy. There was literally one time I was talking to her. So I tried to woo her too. She's not actually my top, but I tried to woo her because I married Leah in Stardew Valley and she had pink hair. So I was like, well, I gotta woo Leah just for like the street cred.
Yeah.
And one of her dialogue options is just an asterisk, Leah is ignoring you. And I was like,
damn, girl.
Okay, my top.
Yeah.
So I had a top 2.5.
Okay.
Because my half is someone I can't date.
Ooh.
And I'm still like really upset about it.
I'm so excited to hear.
So my favorite was Macy. She's my first one.
Oh, cute.
She's the little photographer that runs around.
Yeah.
I really liked her. She's just so sweet. And it was actually it was a total accident. I had been out foraging for flowers and I hadn't figured out the controls yet. And I'm running around with the flower in my hand. And I run by and I speed click prompts because that's what I do. And I speed clicked through my prompt with Macy and gave her my first flower of the game. And then she was so nice about it. And she had a cute little face. And I was like, okay, great. Me and Macy then.
Yeah.
So she is my number 1. My number 2 was Alice. I really liked her. She's like
I have her on my like my longer list. Yeah.
So I liked Alice. She's real sweet. She's one of the twins that runs the inn in town. So you have her sister like Suki also. Or is that your name?
Yeah.
Yeah, Suki. And
I
then,
imagine that's like True Blood.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Yeah. That was too good. That was too correct. Oh no. But Alice is really nice, and she apparently is secretly obsessed with aliens, which is my favorite thing to learn about her.
Cute.
I know.
Okay.
I was like, that's really
so
cool.
Cute.
And then my 0.5 was Raina, the evil corporation secretary, because she is so cute.
She is real hot.
She's so good looking. And like I went into the Pufferfish Incorporated whatever, and I see her behind the desk and I'm like, oh, this is my time to shine. And like I go and I like hit her up and I see that she doesn't have a little heart, and she also never leaves the corporation. Like you never see her walking around town.
Yeah.
And so
I wonder if they're gonna build that in though.
Well, okay, just think of it. Okay, walk through this scene with me.
Yeah.
You heart event with Raina and the first time, and she's like, oh, I feel kind of bad about like the mission of our company, and like the town is so small and sweet, blah, blah, blah. It's like, this is literally a Hallmark movie waiting to happen. Raina is the Hallmark woman coming to this tiny town with an oil corp.
She is.
And then like I get to my 8 heart event and she helps me destroy pufferfish from the inside with her inside knowledge and like access. And then we save the town together, and she moves to the tiny town to live with the little farmer. And come on.
Yeah. Like, no, it's good.
If I cannot play that fantasy by the time 1.0 comes out, like I quit.
Yeah, I'm not playing this game.
Out.
I'm out.
But yeah, they were my top.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Did you re-rank them at all?
I didn't rank all of them because there were so freaking many.
Oh, there's too many. I did not rank all of them.
But I had a couple bottoms, and then I had my, like
that's exactly what I did. Yeah. Okay, so my ranking after I met everyone, my top 6 is what I had.
God damn.
Y'all, there's like 20.
There's a ton. There's
like 20.
Yeah.
I still haven't met one of the characters. I don't know where they are or who they are.
She shows up in the summer, and she's pretty cute. She'd be on my top list. So yeah,
okay.
she was my fourth.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have Leah as the top because, like I said, I like a challenge. Waku is my second. Yuri's my third. The reason why Yuri kind of fell back behind, even though I really liked her at first, is that I kept accidentally giving her gifts she hated.
Right? I gave her a flower and she was like, I hate flowers.
Yes!
And I was like, Yuri.
Yeah! I was like, damn, okay. I ended up liking Raphael.
I like
He's
him.
like a cute, like,
a teddy
sweet.
bear.
Yeah. Lily is in there, and then Alice.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Lily's like the tech girl, and I just thought she was cute and nice. And then Alice was also like cute and nice. And now that I know she secretly is like an alien person, I dig it.
It was fun.
Okay, what's your top? And then we can go into our like nose.
Right. So my tops obviously were Macy and then Alice and then maybe one day Rena. But after that, I did have Raphael, and I actually looked up some of his dialogue because I was trying to. I didn't get a chance to talk to him enough, and I wanted to get a little refresher before. And I found the world's saddest piece of dialogue. It's not in a heart event. It's just like a rare piece of dialogue. And I'm going to read it to you because, oh my God. Okay, it said, "It hurts to see my dad smile wider when introducing Pablo, his brother, the other blacksmith. My mom's constant praise of Pablo's good looks and the joke that I was adopted stings. It stung then when I was 8, and it still does now, millions of years later."
Oh my God.
I know.
We now need to protect Raphael at all costs. I know.
And I used to have both
Pablo
Raphael.
Was a douche.
Yeah, so when I first met Pablo, I liked Pablo, and then he was like a super douche. He was like one of those Playboy dudes.
Yeah.
Playboy all the way. So like Raphael bumped up and Pablo was like in the gutter. And then the other one that I had was like Leah, but she was my tentative because I haven't had a real heart event with her yet. Yeah. Although what I learned is I started giving her my really expensive gems that I kept finding in the mine.
Oh, I'm sure.
She digged that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. She got expensive taste. You know that looking at her. Yeah. She's the high maintenance cutie, like, for sure.
For sure. So that's why I guess, because I kept giving her stuff and she's pretty much like, meh. And so one day I got like accidentally 2 of the really nice gems and I was like, you know what? F it. I'm going to give her one. And she's like, oh, I love it.
I love it. And
like,
yeah,
of course
she
does.
Did. Yeah. Okay, who are your nose?
My nose were Ben.
Oh my God, I hated him.
The hippie Ben.
Ugh,
who
the worst.
Walked like an animal. It was so bad. It was so bad.
The worst.
And I accidentally, I don't know how I got up to a heart level with him, but I got 1 heart with him, and I don't know if it was a bug or something, but at the end of the day, you usually get like a summary of your days. And up until that point, I had never gotten any summary with like the characters' hearts growing. And the very first character heart growing one that I got was fucking Ben.
And you were like, fuck.
And I was like, are you kidding me? Did I give my first heart away to Ben? But then I opened it up and I didn't. And I had a bunch of other hearts with other people. Yeah. It just never popped.
Yeah.
But Ben freaking sucked. And then Antonio, I know he wasn't a...
Boo, Antonio.
Right? He wasn't a dateable, and I still put him on my list because he freaking sucked. And like the character art, I know that they did it on purpose, but you can see up his nose.
Yeah. He's like very like...
So snooty.
Snooty. And then he's also divorced Suke. That we talked about.
And they have a kid together, which is kind of fun.
Together. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he lives in the hotel.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was douchey.
He was super douchey, and he's the one who owns the clothing store. And my secret hypothesis is that all the clothes are so expensive because he thinks he's better than everybody else, and he doesn't want us to dress nice. But those are my least favorites. I have to dress
nice to impress Leah. Like I have to.
She keeps making fun of my clothes.
She does. I'm like, damn. I gotta show up.
I did have a scene, I think it was with Macy, where she was being really sweet to me on like a pier. I don't know if it was a heart event or not. I can't remember, but we were just having a cute little conversation. I got a video of it with me in my stupid panda outfit.
Nice.
And it was like heart to heart talk, and I'm just like over there like bebopping with my little panda head.
Panda. Chilling.
So good.
Did you have any other no's?
Those are my main no's. The other people I had, I didn't get to know a lot of them. I would say Millie was close to my no bucket. Millie is like the assistant, I think, at the museum.
I have her as like mid. Yeah.
She was mid, and then I had this scene with her. I don't know if you got it. It was, so some people have heart events at like 2 hearts, 3 hearts, whatever. It wasn't consistent, and I had a heart event with Millie at 1 heart.
Oh.
Yeah, it was really weird. And it was like at a pond. It was actually kind of cute. She was throwing flowers in the pond to like try to call the goddess to like fix stuff. And in it, a lot of the dialogue, I actually have a little bit of a qualm with this. Like, you can't actually really interact with the dialogue a lot. And a lot of the dialogue assumes that you said things, and sometimes it's, like, really weird. And it was one of those conversations where, like, finally I had some dialogue to interact with, and all the options seemed kind of, like, neutral to funny. And I said something along the lines of like, oh no, you're littering. Because it was, it's a trash town and she's throwing stuff in the water. I thought it was funny. And she like had this horrified look on her face and was like mad at me.
Oh, wow.
I know. And I was like, well, Millie, moving down my list.
Yeah.
But other than that, like the other people all seemed kind of like nice-ish. But I don't know. And all the men sucked. I think I put that on here.
Yeah.
I didn't really hang out with what's-his-face. And Raphael was like literally the only
Raphael
dude.
Is precious.
Yeah. Everybody else was like athletic medium. I don't know. Like they were like a very...
I was going to say the only other like no that I have that you didn't mention was Chaim?
Who?
Chaem. I'm saying that wrong.
Chae. There's a person named Chaim? That can't be right. Chaim? Okay.
I'm not saying it right.
Oh, I literally have met her like one time.
Okay.
I like the paths, because the world is so big. This is another qualm I had. I do not accidentally run into characters. I have to go find them.
Seek them out.
And I think I've run into her like one time.
Yeah.
What was it that you didn't like about her?
Well, she just has like some really like mean dialogue. I mean, she's like the typical like I'm always working out. Like she literally like told me to move out of her way.
Oh.
And like one of the...
But not in like a cute sassy way.
No, it was like the fuck out of my way. I'm working out. You know what I mean? Like okay, all right, bitch.
I don't need that in my life.
Message received.
Yes. Did you have heart events with anybody yet?
Not yet, which is crazy because I'm like almost done with summer.
So the only people that I've managed to trigger a heart event for, this is how I remembered, was I triggered one for Eva.
Yeah.
And Macy, and then the one for Millie.
Yeah.
But the heart events, listen, I am a big fan of heart events because I literally died.
Where you learn about the character.
You learn about them. It's also like this fun surprise when you run into the right place at the right time and it's like the town is alive.
Yeah.
I really like them. And I haven't really ran into many, which is a little sad. Like in a year, I've only had 3 heart events.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like almost done with summer and I've had none.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's fine. But the heart events themselves, like the one that I had with Macy was she was trying to take a selfie and I go take a picture with her. And the one with Eva was like she made a new recipe for bread and I burnt my hands and she goes and like mends me up. And they're like cute little stories, but you don't interact with them in the same way that you do in like Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon because you don't really have choices. Like you just exist in them. Yeah. And I don't know, it all felt just like a little weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost like you don't have agency in it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like I didn't feel
as much
like
as you'd want. Yeah.
Yeah. And in this world, especially with all these really adorable characters, like I love the diversity of the characters. Yeah. They're all so cute and fun. And I am so pumped to romance them. And I just want to feel like I do have more autonomy when I'm like making decisions and talking to them and stuff because it's one of my favorite parts.
And it adds more like life to it.
Yeah.
That was like my biggest issue with the most recent Animal Crossing too, is it felt like the characters just didn't have as much life as in New Leaf, which was before it.
Yeah.
Like the dialogue was just really
so
repetitive.
Yeah.
So... And that kind of thing really makes a big difference.
In games like this.
Opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, because the whole point of these games is to really come into this little world and live it. And I don't want to say this necessarily because I'm hoping it gets better after early access. But it was kind of like a soulless version of Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't mean that in a mean way. I think that it will get better. But right now it just doesn't have a lot of heart to it.
I agree. You want to wrap up?
Sure. Let's wrap it.
Cool.
Baddy.
The wording wording is just making me laugh today.
Yeah, we've had some choice wording today. That's fine. Oh, wait, I had one more thing.
Oh, okay.
Did you do the tree planting festival?
Yes.
That was the worst festival I've ever seen in my whole entire fucking life. It was chores to the max. I don't know. That I hated that one. It sucks.
Yeah. It wasn't like anything particularly.
Yeah, it was just chores, but in a different location.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
cherry blossom one was pretty cute.
That one was cute. And I think those are the only two that they have, I guess, if you're saying that they haven't updated the
From
rest
my
of
understanding,
Okay.
I kept getting the notifications for the other festivals, and maybe other people that play this figured out how to do it, but I couldn't get the other ones to trigger in the seasons, even though they were on the calendar. So,
wrap up. I would recommend this game if you are understanding that it is in early access.
Mm-hmm.
I think if it goes out of early access, or when it goes out of early access, I would recommend it even more when it's kind of more full-fledged. I would recommend it for people who like farming sims like Stardew Valley. I don't know if I would recommend it to people who are like Animal Crossing people necessarily, unless they also liked Stardew Valley. Because the combat and the resource stuff and the farming stuff is like very much more of that. And it's really grindy. So if you don't like the grind, I would not pick this up yet. And then the one thing that I kind of saved for the end that I was like pretty disappointed in, submitting feedback crashed the game for me both times I tried to do it.
Oh, that's so sad.
So like I submitted feedback and it crashed the game. And then I was like, wow, it's pretty bad that when you submit feedback, it crashes the game. So I submitted feedback to try to submit feedback that it crashes the game when you submit feedback. And it crashed the game.
That's so sad.
And I need to try it again to see if it's going to be a 3 for 3. I haven't tried it again because I was like, I'm tired of restarting my days.
Good for you. Why were you submitting feedback in the first place?
I ran into a bug when I was offering to the goddess where it wasn't taking the like resource from my inventory, but it was saying that the pack was done.
Oh,
so it was weird because it was like it knew that I had the thing, but it didn't take it from my inventory. So I was like, oh, it's like, a small bug. But I was like, I'll submit feedback for that. Crashed my game.
So sad.
And it was at the end of the day too, and I was like, wow.
Oh, that is sad.
That's sad. Anyways.
I will say that I lost a whole day's progress as well, but in a less dramatic way. In the menu, it has like resume game, load game. And when you press load game, there is not an intermediate screen. It automatically loads the save. Yeah, and so I accidentally pressed load game.
Oh, that's just bad UI.
Yeah, it was so
UI
sad.
design.
I was like, oh my gosh, there wasn't a screen to like pick to load the thing or cancel. It just automatically loaded to the last save of the game, which is the beginning of the day. It was really disappointing.
Oh, I didn't get my rating.
Yeah, give your rating.
Right now.
Now?
Right at this stage of the game, it's a 2.5.
Okay.
For me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't do 0.5s on the website.
It's a 2. But I like it. See, This is what I don't want that to come across as like I am not having fun, because I am having fun playing the game. Yeah. And I'm going to play it even after we like have this.
Me too.
Like it's a 2 in anticipation that it's maybe going to turn into a 3 or a 4, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
When it actually releases.
Yeah. I vibe with that.
Yeah.
So my recommendation's a little different. I would say if you could get it for free right now, like playing it with Game Pass, then I would recommend it. But it's like $25 without it, and it's definitely a little bit rough around the edges right now. I don't know if like with some games you lose your saves when they go into final release.
I think they've said that you will. And I saw some TikToks of people complaining about it. So I think you will lose your save when it fully releases. Okay.
Yeah, and that's rough. So I would say like if you can play it for free with that in mind, like I would recommend it right now. I think I will recommend it whenever it actually the 1.0 releases.
Absolutely. Yes.
Because the bones are there. I love the characters. The world has a lot of promise in it, and I actually really enjoyed the diving mechanic, even though there's garbage everywhere.
Yeah.
I will say that was my one like minor qualm with the game in general that I know isn't gonna change is that the garbage everywhere aesthetic, I get the point that they're trying to make of like you're cleaning up stuff, but garbage respawns and it's everywhere, and I want my island to be pretty.
Yeah.
And it's just
I think that's
garbage.
did you end up opening a recycling center, or did that stay non-open?
It's still
for
not
you?
open for me.
I bet that's what that's going to be in the future. That's what I
to
thought.
get the garbage to go
when
away.
I saw the recycling center, I was like, I bet to permanently start cleaning up the
You
garbage.
have to do upgrades.
Yeah, you do the
Yeah.
recycling center.
That's fair. That's fair. And if that's true, that's great. And that's the other reason that I would say, like, be careful if you play it now, is it's not super clear what's done and what isn't. There are not a lot of quests yet, so the quest lines get done pretty quick. And in general, there are still like bugs and all that kind of fun stuff. A lot of polish left.
If they do all the things that it looks like they're gonna try to do, and like they fully like land the plane, I think it could be a really cool, like fun, rich experience. Yeah. So
I'm hoping that this is a 4. I'm hoping that one day it becomes a 4.
Me too.
And I think it has definitely the potential for it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. What's your rating?
My current rating, I would agree with you, about a 2.
Yeah.
But again, I've put over 30 hours in it. I didn't really need to put over 30 hours in it. I just kept playing it because I liked to play it. And if you are good and comfortable with the other things we've mentioned, then you should do it. Because it is fun, and I do think it'll be a really good time when everything kind of buttons up.
Okay.
That's all I got.
And we're doing an on-topic section today.
On topic.
On topic. Tears of the Kingdom trailer just released.
And Maddie just watched it.
And I just watched it before we started recording. So we're going to talk about it.
I really like the trailer.
It's great.
Yeah. The one question I walked away with.
I'm really curious to see if you're going to say the exact same thing as me.
Okay. I want to know if we play as Zelda.
Oh, okay. That's different.
That's not?
Cool.
I saw this trailer and, okay, hear me out. This might be insane.
Yeah.
But in the trailer, Zelda has a slightly different hairstyle. She's looking a little bit, she's like got this like short little bob shenanigans.
Rocking it.
Very cute.
Yeah.
Which is different than normal. So they've mixed her up a little bit, you know? And the outfit that she's wearing looks a lot like Link's outfit, which to me sounds like cost cutting for animations for a main character.
Ooh.
And we haven't got to play really as Zelda yet this whole time. And come on, it's 2023. Give us some Legend of Zelda where I actually get to play Zelda.
Yeah.
And my fingers crossed based on that trailer that I actually get to play as her. Yeah. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I took from it. And I think that I'm probably totally wrong, but I'm dreaming.
I think you're going to be right.
I'm dreaming.
I think you're right.
What was your thing? What did you take away from it?
My thing, great trailer. It looks so sick. Like, I'm so pumped for this game. Yeah. How is this game going to run on the Switch? I literally don't believe it's going to. The
other one ran.
But it was rough. The Karak Forest was nearly unplayable.
I don't know if I never actually finished all of the first one. Like, it was a lot.
Right. We talked about
there was a ton of content there. The parts that I played, I don't know if I got
It just looks so ambitious compared to the first one. Like, they added a bunch of stuff, like platforms in the sky that you can jump to.
Which looks so cool.
A rocket you can hold on to and, like, fly up into the air, and like that at an open world, like I don't know. Yeah. I just don't know how this game is going to run on a Switch unless they release like new hardware with it, which they're definitely not going to do.
Not in May. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
They're not going to surprise drop the Switch Pro. That's just not going to happen.
Nintendo. I can see that. I have bigger hopes. I can't imagine that they would release a rough Zelda game.
No, I don't think. I just, man, how is this thing gonna run? That's just my biggest question.
I mean, that's a compliment. Yeah. Right? You're like, damn, look at this game. Can this little ass Switch handle it? I don't know.
Yeah.
We were talking a little bit about the timelines too before we jumped on, and it does very much so seem like a penultimate kind of chapter.
It does.
Yeah, like it seems like we're nearing the end. Not the very end maybe, but
how can we live in a world with no new Zelda games?
Yeah. And so my hunch is I was watching and reading about the different timelines in Zelda, and apparently the way that Zelda kind of works is after and I don't know if this is actually really canon, so like whatever, but After Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
Did you play that one?
No.
Okay, so in Ocarina of Time, I played it a long time ago, but
I watched my brother play it. But,
yeah. The apparently you can branch off into like 3 different timelines from Ocarina of Time, where you either like, so at the end you get sent back as like a child to relive your childhood. And so there's a timeline where you go back and relive your childhood, play through the game in this other parallel timeline, and then lose. So that's a timeline.
Oh.
There's a go back childhood, play, and then win, and then that's a timeline.
Yeah.
And then there's the existing timeline where you're already an adult and you won, and then that's a timeline. So that, like, from that game, there's 3 parallel timelines that each house different versions of the game.
Okay.
And Breath of the Wild was theoretically the, like, not even like a merge of all of the 3 timelines, but like so far advanced in the future that it eventually meshed, and Breath of the Wild could end up on any timeline. Like, that's just how it ends up, regardless of the timelines that things split up from Ocarina of Time.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And so when you end up into Breath of the Wild, we're now on a merged timeline with everything else, and then you have Tears of the Kingdom coming. And so part of me is wondering if they're going to do more time hop shenanigans, and then that's how they're going to kind of reset a little bit, because very much so the timeline in Zelda, super inconsistent with the release schedules of it, super inconsistent if the dude is dead or alive, or who the main baddie is. And so I think they, like, I don't foresee this as the end at all. It'll just be interesting to see how they futz with the timeline to make it all work out. Because it did. The trailer looked super, like, Endgame.
Yeah, it looked really Endgame. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for it.
But maybe, you know, maybe that means that the next escapades will be with Zelda.
So there's that. Do we want to briefly talk about Last of Us finale?
Yeah.
TV show?
Yeah.
Cool. Boy. How do I summarize all my thoughts? It's been a while.
It's been a while. Well, actually not a while for me. I watched it like a week and a half ago.
Oh.
Yeah, I was late.
Okay.
I've been doing shit.
You've just been busy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. that I'm popular.
Yeah. I thought it was good.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked Bella. I really liked Pedro Pascal, obviously. The ending was perfect, like, to the game, right? Yeah. Like, it kept
identical.
It kept that ending that I thought was great, but DK was like, what the fuck?
Oh.
He was like, that's it? Like,
was it the content of the ending, or like the pacing of the ending?
I think it's both, because I think it's like a perfect ending of I Promise.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Like, black.
Right.
I think that's great.
So the reason that I asked is because when I played the game, that ending hit me like a ton of bricks. And I was like, wow.
Yeah. It really did. It really did. Yeah.
And I'm like, that is everything that I wanted this game to like end with. And then they leave you on that. I was just like, oh my God, it was so good.
Yeah.
And I think taking the immense amount of time that it took to watch the last episode for me, not for any specific reason. We've been binging Survivor. It's fine.
Yeah.
The last episode, watching it so far away from everything else, is the pacing felt a little wrong. And I think it's because it feels different when you're playing it as a game.
Yeah.
It's a lot more extended. You're a lot more like into it.
In it.
Yeah, you're in it. You're playing it. And I think watching it, that ending on the screen felt really rushed to me. And I think I would have reconsidered the pacing a little bit to try to make it better for film.
Yeah.
But I can see why, if you hadn't had the gameplay experience, you could be like, oh, that's the end. Because to me, the pacing was wrong. Yeah.
I can see that. I did really think that they nailed the music.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Really nailed that.
And the acting was so good.
And the acting was great, obviously.
They also had the little giraffe scene.
I know. I was so excited they put that in there.
Yeah.
I love that. That was like one of my favorite scenes in the game, and then they, almost identically copied it for the show. Because it didn't need any changing, right? Yeah, it was good. I'm really looking forward to season 2.
Are we going to play before season 2? Because I don't think I can wait till 2025.
No, we're not going to wait until 2025 to play the game. But because I really want to see what happens, and I have to know who Abby is. I have been avoiding
spoilers.
Yeah. I just know that there's a character named Abby. And
she's
a big deal.
You didn't start playing it, did you? Because Chris and I played like the first couple hours.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
We played it literally like.
Have you been taking notes? for our future podcast episode?
Oh, no, we're going to have to replay it.
Okay.
Like, we literally played the first couple hours immediately after I finished, like, the other game. It
Oh,
was, like,
okay,
the
cool.
next day, because
Yeah.
I was feeling really stressed out. I don't like cliffhangers, and so I wanted to see, like, what the next game was like.
Yeah.
So I played the first couple of hours. I already don't like Abby. I don't know. We'll get into it.
We'll get into it.
We'll get
I'm
into
excited.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
So at some point in the future. But we should go on a little, like, tour of Seattle, since part of it's in Seattle, and see if we can find the places. I think it'll be fun.
It'll be fun. I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's it for today.
Yay.
Oh, am I the ending today?
You are. Do you want me to do it?
I don't have it open.
Okay. Thank you for listening to our podcast. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe and rate it. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Baddy Breakdowns, and visit our website, baddybreakdowns.com, made by me, Bridget Keene.
Oh,
The podcast art was done by the lovely Tanisha Vernikar, and the podcast was edited by Maddie Wisner. Join us next time to hear us two baddies break down Return of the Obra Dinn.
I cannot tell you how pumped I am for this game.
It's in people who I respect from a gaming perspective. It's in their like top 5 of favorite games. So I'm trying not to let it be overhyped for me, but I'm very excited.
I love that you have a list of people you respect with gaming things that just float around your social circle. You're like, these people have good taste.
It's like gaming podcasters and stuff that I listen to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have heard about this on multiple occasions, and it seems like it's 100% my vibe and very different from the other games that we've played so far.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be good.
Yay.
Yay.